Stranded by circumstance. The coastal storm arrived with a vengeance, just as Julia and Ethan exchanged their vows. Wind lashed against the lodge's windows, rain drumming an urgent accompaniment to their promises of forever. Despite the weather drama, the ceremony was beautiful. Julia radiant in vintage lace, Ethan looking at her as though she'd hung the stars now hidden behind turbulent clouds. Olivia had successfully avoided close contact with Marcus and Rebecca throughout the day, but standing opposite Marcus in the wedding party made her achingly aware of his presence. Twice, she caught him watching her with an expression she couldn't decipher. During the reception, the lodge manager interrupted the festivities with an announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, the coastal highway has been closed due to flooding and mudslides. I'm afraid no one can leave tonight. We've prepared the conference rooms with cots for those without accommodations." A murmur of concern rippled through the guests. Julia grabbed the microphone. "Look at it this way. The party doesn't have to end. Open bar for everyone stranded." The crowd cheered. Crisis converted to adventure by Julia's infectious optimism. As the celebration continued, Olivia slipped away to call her mother, assuring her she was safe despite the storm. When she returned, the reception had transformed. With electricity now flickering, the staff had placed hurricane lanterns throughout the space, casting everyone in warm, golden light. The DJ had switched to acoustic music, a guitarist playing softly in the corner. Olivia found an empty table and watched the couples swaying on the dance floor, including Julia and Ethan, lost in their newlywed bubble. She didn't notice Marcus approaching until he placed a glass of wine before her. "Peace offering?" he said, indicating the chair beside her. "May I?" Her heart betrayed her with its quickened pace. "Where's Rebecca?" Taking a therapeutic bath to calm her nerves about being stranded. His slight eye roll suggested Rebecca's reaction to the situation had been dramatic. Olivia accepted the wine. "She doesn't like me very much." "Rebecca doesn't like any woman from my past," he said carefully, "but she was especially threatened when she heard your name." "Why would she be threatened by someone who's just an ex?" Olivia couldn't keep the hurt from her voice. Marcus looked down. "I've never described you that way." Before she could process his words, the lights went out completely. Collective gasps turned to nervous laughter as staff hurried to light more candles and lanterns. "All guests, please gather in the main hall," called the manager. "We need to organize sleeping arrangements and safety procedures." In the confusion of the sudden darkness and moving crowd, Olivia found herself separated from Marcus. The wedding guests assembled in the grand hall with its massive stone fireplace, now the primary source of both light and heat. The lodge manager explained the situation. Backup generators were running essentials only, cell service was spotty due to tower damage, and everyone would need to stay put until morning at minimum. As staff distributed blankets and pillows, Olivia found herself assigned to a corner of the hall near a window. The storm's fury was hypnotic, lightning illuminating the violent sea below and strobing snapshots. "Is this spot taken?" Marcus appeared beside her, gesturing to the space near her makeshift bed. "Where's Rebecca?" Olivia asked again, her guard rising. "She's claimed a couch in the library, said she couldn't possibly sleep on the floor." His tone suggested this wasn't unusual behavior. "And are you checking the structure?" A small smile played at his lips. "I'm checking something far more important." He sat beside her, close enough that she could feel the familiar warmth of him. "Liv, we need to talk." The nickname sent a shiver through her that had nothing to do with the storm raging outside.
New beginnings. Dawn broke clear and golden, the storm having spent its fury overnight. Olivia stood on the terrace, watching cleanup crews clearing branches from the grounds below. The air felt renewed, washed clean of past regrets and misunderstandings. "There you are." She turned to find Marcus approaching, 2 steaming coffee mugs in hand. He offered one to her, and she accepted gratefully, their fingers brushing in the exchange. "Rebecca's gone," he said without preamble. "She called a private car service at first light. Left this." He held up his phone, displaying a terse message. "I refuse to be second choice to a ghost. Don't call me." I'm sorry, Olivia said, though the emotion behind her words was complicated. Marcus leaned against the railing beside her. Don't be. It was inevitable, just accelerated by the storm. He sipped his coffee, watching her over the rim. She always sensed there was a part of me she couldn't reach. She was right. The lodge was slowly coming to life behind them. Voices drifted through open windows as guests prepared for departure, the roads having been declared passable again. What happens now? Olivia asked, focusing on the horizon where sea met sky in perfect harmony. That depends, Marcus replied. I have an important question first. Her heart quickened as he turned to face her fully. Where's home for you now, Liv? She smiled, understanding the weight behind his simple question. Seattle still, though my parents moved to a smaller place last year. Dad's health improved enough that Mom doesn't need me there daily anymore. I hesitated. I've been thinking about making a change, actually. Hope flickered in his eyes. What kind of change? I've been offered a position with an environmental design firm. They have offices in several cities, including San Francisco. The opportunity arrived 3 weeks ago, feeling like either cosmic irony or perfect timing. Is that why you finally agreed to be in Julia's wedding? Were you already planning to move back? Olivia shook her head. I agreed because Julia is my friend. The job offer came after. She set her mug down on the railing. But I can't deny that I've been thinking about what it would mean to return if certain ghosts from my past might still be haunting the city. Marcus moved closer, his warmth a shield against the morning breeze. Not ghosts, just a man who never stopped wondering what might have been. The rest of the world seemed to fade as his hand gently cupped her cheek. We lost 3 years to pride and poor communication, Liv. I don't want to waste another moment. When his lips met hers, it felt both achingly familiar and entirely new, a homecoming and an adventure beginning simultaneously. His arms encircled her, drawing her against him until she could feel his heartbeat matching the rapid tempo of her own. There's something you should know, she murmured when they finally parted, both breathless. What's that? He asked, forehead resting against hers. I've kept every sketch I've ever drawn of buildings we dreamed up together, she smiled. Maybe it's time we built something new, together this time. Later, as they helped Julia and Ethan load wedding gifts into their car, Julia pulled Olivia aside with a knowing grin. So, the storm had a silver lining after all, she observed, watching Marcus chatting easily with Ethan. Something like that, Olivia admitted, though I'm still processing everything. Sometimes we need to be stranded to find our way, Julia said, hugging her tightly. I expect full credit in your epic love story, by the way. Best matchmaking ever. Olivia laughed. You planned the storm too? I would if I could. Julia's expression grew serious. Don't let fear get in the way this time. You both deserve this second chance. As guests departed and the lodge returned to its normal rhythm, Marcus and Olivia lingered, neither quite ready to break the spell that the storm had cast. They walked along the coastal path, hands intertwined, planning cautiously at first, dinner the following weekend, sharing their current projects, then more boldly, apartments to view in San Francisco, a trip to Barcelona to recapture what they'd once imagined there. She called me just your ex, Olivia reflected as they watched sailboats returning to the bay, life resuming its normal pace after the storm. Marcus lifted their joined hands to his lips. We were everything that mattered. And if you'll give me another chance, I intend to prove that every day. The breeze carried the promise of possibility as they faced the horizon together, two people who had once lost their way, now creating a new path forward, one step at a time.